Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel, Bachelor Nation News fans. The Bachelor Season 29 star Grant Ellis played a dangerous game when he told more than one woman on the show that he loved her. While every woman is different, it's safe to say that most will be disgusted, irate, or both when they discover this type of betrayal. The players of the world know that you need to do this kind of sketchy stuff in the shadows, not under the glare of intense scrutiny from co-stars and viewers. Basically, the woman you're playing isn't supposed to know what else you're doing. That's Smooth Operator 101. It's such a basic rule that it shouldn't even have to be explained. Call it the spycraft of false love, call it whatever you want, but when it got out that Grant was telling the same stuff to more than one person, it wasn't pretty. Maybe Grant isn't fond of confrontation and tried to avoid it by telling everyone what they wanted to hear, until he eliminated them anyway. But really, honesty is the best policy. Right now, Licia Guerre is processing Grant's decision to propose to Juliana Pasquarosa, and Licia has every right to be upset and angry. Grant seemed to sweet-talk her in a way that I felt was cruel. Why tell a woman you're going to propose if you aren't? That's a very mean trick. While he might have been confused at that point and really believed he was going to pop the question to her, maybe he wasn't confused at all. It has to be said that he may have known he wasn't going to offer her a diamond ring. Grant let Licia down. So the Bachelor's Licia Guerre sails into the finale, secure in the knowledge that all of her dreams are coming true. She's found her dream man, he's into it, and she's going to get the fairy tale ending. A ring she can show off, a man she can count on, maybe some babies down the line, adorable, of course, and the picket fence and the whole 9 yards. The life she's always hoped for is right at her fingertips. All she has to do is wait until he gets down on bended knee. What does she get instead? A big heap of humiliation. How ungentlemanly. How crass. How cold. It must have chilled Licia to the bone when Grant asked another woman to marry him. This is the kind of stuff that makes Love-Learned Partners research sociopaths online. Sure, the Bachelor's Grant Ellis probably isn't that conscienceless, but it's harsh enough that she probably wonders if the man she was with was secretly evil. Her rage, and women are trained to repress that, is, in my opinion, healthy. She's reacting to being deceived and then shamed on television in front of millions of people. Her feelings matter to me, and I care about her well-being. However, the fact that Grant made this terrible blunder doesn't make him evil, just too weak to tell the truth. Grant was a wishy-washy lead. Our weaknesses can seem evil, making us seem like atrocious human beings, but most people aren't straight-up evil. They just let their weaknesses get the best of them. Now, it's all about hearsay. Grant's defending himself, the story's shifting, and people need to decide who to believe. But really, isn't Licia's pain, which is so hard to fake, a sign of truthfulness? Look at her face in the clip above. Look at her eyes. She is not faking his distress. That is a very sad woman. She is reeling after this messy situation imploded. She's in disbelief. I give a lot of weight to this. It's quite possible that she's been traumatized by her stint on The Bachelor, and that is heartbreaking. Lydia claimed Grant told her he was going to get engaged to her. What we do know for sure is that he said, "I love you" to Licia during their fantasy suites experience. Looking back, she must feel like that room is a chamber of horrors. As per people, Grant's on the defensive. He said, "That was the hardest thing, but ultimately it was the best thing for Licia. For me to be in a relationship where somebody may be loving me, but I'm not receiving it the way that I want or the way that I need, it would be unfair to that person. I don't feel like I missiled. I feel like I led with my heart. I feel like it would be misleading if I made promises, but I expressed my feelings, which I do every day." That's his version now, following his proposal to Juliana. However, there are two sides to every story. Juliana revealed on After the Final Rose that Grant had been making her believe she would be his wife. She said, We were getting engaged from, the first one-on-one that we had in LA until the night before that day. I remember saying goodbye to him and saying, "Oh my gosh, we're getting engaged tomorrow." And he said, "I know, I can't wait. I love you, I love you, I love you." Those were the last words that he said to me before I walked up there, so it was a shock. Grant was too good to be true. If this is true, and judging by her shell-shocked reaction, it could be, it's terrible. Above, via Licia's Instagram, she bravely moves forward, not hiding her sadness. Why should she? The emotional damage he's inflicted is severe. Again, Grant probably never meant to hurt anyone, but maybe he should have dialed down the Prince Charming stuff just in case. Or maybe he has trouble really putting himself in another person's shoes. I think, if this is true, that maybe his empathy isn't really strong, as this is such a hurtful thing to do to another person, and so easily avoided with just a little bit of truth. It's not easy watching female dreams die on The Bachelor. It's sometimes hard to watch all the women competing for a man, too. The show's format creates a dynamic where the male has almost all the power to choose. Rose Sonk did leave, and maybe that was a smart decision, so women can self-eliminate if they want to. However, they're mostly trying to impress the leading man. If The Bachelor isn't really clear about who he wants, some females may end up devastated. Licia is someone who's suffering and feeling blindsided. Meanwhile, Grant says he isn't as bad as he's being made out to be. I want Grant to be happy. However, I think, if even 50% of what Licia is saying is true, he owes her an apology. While saying he's sorry may not be enough, it couldn't hurt. Right now, she's moving through a dark tunnel, where she's revisiting her conversations and intimacy with Grant, and wondering why on earth everything unraveled. While I wish Juliana and Grant happiness, I'd also think that he made mistakes, whether he owns up to them or not. I hope other bachelors learn from this, taking more care not to hurt the women who are vying for their hearts. It's a delicate dance on The Bachelor, a situation that requires finesse and respect. The first woman to hear those magical words from Grant was Juliana Pasquarosa. Fans watched as she blushed and smiled, clearly over the moon by Grant's confession. But what followed left viewers with a sickening feeling in their stomachs. Was Grant truly in love with Juliana, or was he simply telling her what he thought she wanted to hear? The moment was beautiful, emotional, and seemed like the perfect culmination of a blossoming romance. But soon, Juliana wasn't the only one who had heard those words. Enter the second woman. The betrayal begins. It didn't take long for another woman, Jessica, to experience the same confessions of love from Grant. And that's when the real drama unfolded. While Juliana was still basking in the glow of her "I love you" moment, Jessica was hearing the same thing from Grant. To make matters worse, both women had no idea that the other had been told the same thing. When the truth came to light, the situation became even more complicated and painful. Grant had essentially promised love to two women, knowing full well that only one could be his true partner in the end. The manipulation was palpable. The fallout, hurt, betrayal, and backlash. The moment Juliana and Jessica found out they had both been told "I love you," the emotional wreckage was immediate. Juliana, feeling deceived, confronted Grant in an explosive moment that left everyone wondering if she could ever trust him again. Her heart was shattered, and her trust in him was gone. For Jessica, the revelation was equally crushing, though she tried to remain composed. Still, the emotional damage was undeniable. What was even more shocking was how Grant seemed to brush off the confrontation. Instead of taking responsibility for his actions, he doubled down on his emotional manipulation, making excuses and offering half-hearted apologies. Fans watching from home were furious, accusing him of treating love as a game and exploiting the emotions of the women involved for his own entertainment. The aftermath. The women speak out. In the days following the explosive showdown, Juliana and Jessica began to open up about their experiences. Both women shared their heartbreak on social media, expressing their frustration with Grant's actions. Juliana wrote a heartfelt message, saying, "I truly believed I was the one for him. To find out I wasn't the only one he was telling those words to was devastating. I thought I was special to him." Jessica, on the other hand, took a more pointed approach. She tweeted, "Love isn't something you just throw around like confetti. It means something. To be manipulated like that is cruel." The fans weigh in, a divided fandom. The reaction from fans has been nothing short of explosive. Some have sided with the women, calling Grant's actions unforgivable. He strung these women along for his own selfish reasons. One fan tweeted, "How could he tell two women he loved them? He should be ashamed of himself." Others, however, have defended Grant, arguing that he was simply following the format of the show. "This is The Bachelor," one commenter wrote. "It's what they do. He's not the first to tell more than one woman that he loves them. It's part of the process." Is Grant Ellis truly sorry? As the drama continues to unfold, the question remains, is Grant Ellis truly remorseful for his actions? Has he learned anything from this experience, or is he simply trying to salvage his public image? His silence has been deafening, with no public apology or statement acknowledging the pain he caused. One thing is for certain, Grant Ellis' decision to tell two women he loved them has left a lasting impact. Whether he realizes it or not, his actions will forever define his time on The Bachelor.